To like the 95% of people who commented on my previous Emboss or Toss video, I have fixed the spreadsheet. I mean, it's looking ugly. It's looking like a very ugly spreadsheet. But now I can finally say that we twin. So thank you so much to everyone who left a lot of advice for like sorting out the spreadsheet, making sure that when I'm doing the random number generator, I can like sort the spreadsheet into like TBR and red and all of that. So it's fixed. It's all fixed now. Don't worry about a thing. So hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This will be episode 2 of Emboss or Toss, and I have officially changed the title. That was also another thing that I got a lot of comments on, and thank you so much for giving your opinions and your feedback. Yeah, I was going with Stamp or Pass in the first episode, but I do think Emboss or Toss, now that I've thought about it, now that I've seen a lot of people prefer it, I think that's going to be the official title. So that's essentially what this video is going to be. I'm going to go through my own TBR and hopefully read through some more books. I love the variety, I love the randomness of it, not knowing what's going to, you know, pop up. Anything could be read in this video. Could be a massive tome, could be a classic, could be a young adult, could be a middle grade, could be Allie, it could be anything whatsoever. So I thought before I try and build a TBR and go through the books I need to read for this video, I thought I would go through my home library room because this desperately needs sorting out. I want to do a new home library tour at the start of 2025, but the only way I can do that is by sorting everything out. I did get rid of my like island bookshelves, and I now have like a few piles in the middle of this room that I can't fit anywhere. I have all of my like graphic novels and Alice Oseman books there, and I have books that I've hauled over the last few months there as well that I need to put onto the shelves. I don't know if they'll quite fit. I've already done some unhauling, some of these books that I unhauled in the previous episode, and then I've also went through some of my, you know, graphic novels. I don't really read a whole lot of graphic novels, honestly, so I think I'm going to end up unhauling these. I have read some of them, and so like these are pretty much gonna go. I didn't like An Academy for Liars, and I didn't like those two books for my romantasy video. So yeah, these are what I'm already unhauling. And while I want to go through and emboss some books today, I just love doing it. Like sometimes I just randomly come in and I just start embossing books that I'm definitely going to keep. And I feel like that's what I'm going to do with my middle grade today. I'm going to go through and unhaul before we do the random number generator, you know, take things off the spreadsheet that I know I'm not going to end up reading so that I can maybe fit some graphic novels on there. I'm wasting time. I just want to know what the first book I want to read in this video is, but I can't do that until I've like done a little bit more unhauling. I feel awful for doing this. Also still using my autumn, fall, Halloween mugs because that's just who I am, despite it being like nearly Christmas.
I think that's all the questions. You really put me through my paces there. I did my best with them. I don't know if I'm as good as Google, not as good as Google. But if you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and of course check out all the amazing content my history hit. And if you want more Robert Dudley in your life, check out The House of Dudley.
Okay, I have pretty much sorted out the middle grade, and I have put my graphic novels just randomly there. Like my middle grades go from down there all the way to like along here, and there's like still room at the bottom too, which is awesome. But yeah, I just wanted to slot the graphic novels there, mainly because when I'm filming I'll be like standing around about there, and I would love for you to be able to see Heartstopper in the background of my videos, so that's kind of why I put them there. But yeah, there's like really no rhyme or reason other than none of these would have fit down here because these shelves are like smaller. So in terms of height, I needed that. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't look like too weird. I like it. It definitely looks a lot cleaner than it used to. So I'm very happy about that. I did end up unhauling like a couple more stacks, which I will try and tally up as well so that you know exactly how much I've unhauled with the middle grade. I still have all of this to put on the shelves, but I'm not going to worry about that too much just yet because I do have gaps anyway that I'm going to see if I can like just move some things along and see if I can sort that out. Otherwise, I might have to do some unhauling on this side also. But I am hoping that when I'm doing the random number generator, I'm doing the Emboss or Toss, I kind of have a feeling inside whether or not I want to read it, and then if my gut says I don't want to read it, then I can unhaul it. So all of the rules apply. It'll be great. It'll be fine. Now I need to take a picture of everything and go downstairs, take them all off the spreadsheet, and then we can finally start embossing and tossing. So StreamYard is a dumbass and it didn't record my audio somehow. I don't know how it happened, But I wanted to show you this clip because I did end up getting my first pick of the video, and I wanted you to see that I did do the random number generator and all that. And one thing I realized while I was doing the random number generator during this whole thing was that there were still books that I can't read in my TBR just yet because it will be part of projects. So I ended up having the idea of separating those as well, which you will see in the next time I do the random number generator. So that does get sorted. And as I say during this clip, which you will not be able to hear, is that there are still kinks being worked through. I am learning as I go, but I do think by the end of this episode, or at least like by the time I use the random number generator again in the next bit, I have fixed all of that, and I have separated my actual TBR from the books that I want to read for projects. So I have separated those now, and I won't be getting those, you know, annoying times when I get a number and then it turns out to be a book I can't read yet because it's for a project. So yeah, all that has been sorted. Do apologize for the audio not working. This is my voiceover after the fact. Like, how dare you, StreamYard? You charge me more. You charge me more, and then you just totally fail on me. Honestly, StreamYard has gone downhill, so downhill. But anyway, as you can see as well, Orochi Volume 4 is the winner. It was the one that was picked in the random number generator, so Orochi Volume 4 is the first book that I will be reading in this video. I hope you enjoy. I had a nap the other day during my library challenge, and my neck has not been the same since. It's actually killing me. I'm never napping again, but I can't move my head too far to the left. It's giving me a headache. I have reading sprints, like Patreon reading sprints in like 40 minutes. I did manage to finish Orochi Volume 4, and I like it. Like, I do like the Orochi series. They are just a series of horror vignettes, like very short horror stories, although definitely longer than like a Junji Ito story, for instance. Like, the stories can last like over 100 to 200 pages. So there's like 2 every volume. There was 2 in this one. One of them was called Eyes and the other one was called Blood. And like, both of them were fine. Like, it wasn't like the best of the stories that I've read. These came out so long ago, I think in the 60s or maybe the 70s, and these are quite dated. I wouldn't say they were exactly scary. There are like little twists and turns every now and then. Orochi is a girl who continues to follow people randomly, and she watches things and observes things from the background. One thing I did like is that in this volume we do find out a little bit more about like her origins, or like at least what she does and like who she kind of is. And we haven't learned anything about her really, but we do get like a sliver of that in the Blood story, which I found quite interesting. The Eye story was about a girl who is blind, and she witnesses the death of her family friend, and her father is actually accused of killing this person, so she now needs to try and save her father from incarceration by trying to bring the real person, to justice. Characters are very surface level in this series. She will say something like, oh, I don't even know what pretty is, I'll just go and make the supper. Like, there are moments where like it could be quite beautiful, especially since we have a main character who is blind. She was born blind, so she doesn't know like what things look like at all. She doesn't understand some of the things. She is very resourceful. She does ask a child as well to follow the killer. So that's another thing I was like, probably not the best thing to do. The story was fine, like when it came down to like the blind girl running away from the killer, and that was quite scary, quite suspenseful. The Blood story took like 200 pages. It was the biggest one, but we do learn more about Orochi, so that was good. But everything else was like, it's a bit of a lackluster story, honestly. There's a lot of slapping in it. Like, there's a lot of abuse in the second story. A lot of family abuse, I should say. And it follows like a young girl. She has a sister who is older than her, but her sister is perfect at everything. And her family always criticize the younger sister for not living up to, you know, the other daughter, the other sister. So like, she feels like so much pressure, and she's always compared to her sister and always feeling inferior. But yeah, it's a very interesting sisterly dynamic. I think the very first Orochi story in volume 1 kind of had a similar sisterly dynamic as well, which I prefer in volume 1 rather than in this one. So I would probably only give like this volume 3 star, maybe 2.5. I don't think any of the Orochi volumes are groundbreaking or like that amazing, honestly, but I do find them so interesting to read, and they give me a really good window into the past and like what horror manga was like in the 70s or 60s or whenever this came out. These are the kind of stories that inspired Junji Ito, so yeah, I do still find them really interesting. So glad to still read them. I will still keep it though. I will still keep it, and I'm going to emboss emboss it. I have my first 3 volumes as well, which I have not embossed either, so let's emboss them all. I do think that these look cool all together. I don't want to keep these in my horror manga collection. And there are some like good stories in the 4 volumes. Just overall, it wasn't like the best reading experience. I might try and do a series review on my manga channel. I need to get back into filming for my manga channel. I've been neglecting it. Just been a little bit of a busy bitch. Now they can see, like, I'm sorry, like, it's because it's manga, it's like different. Volume 2. You really can't see it, which is great. Like, it's kind of what you want, but you can just feel it, you know. That was volume 3. And then let's emboss the volume that I read in this video and count it towards the first success of the video 2. I just love how subtle it is. I really do. This is how I pretty much sorted out the rest of the spreadsheet. Anything that I may do for project, I put TBR star. That should hopefully help us later on. Fingers crossed, let's try it. So let's do the A to Z. No, let's do the Z to A. Okay. It's fine. We'll do between number 348. I'm ridiculous. I know this. 2958. And now as well, not having the TBR projects in, the TBR number is down to 611. So I've got 611 books that I need to read that aren't part of projects, apparently. So let's hope that I haven't made any mistakes. Let's hope I've included everything I need to do. And do the random number generator. Let's see what we get. 606. 606 is Sunbringer. Okay, well, I can't read the sequel. I will read Godkiller, though. I will read Godkiller since, you know, that's the sequel to Godkiller. I can read Godkiller. Excellent. Okay, perfect. Maybe the system will work. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I've said so far in the rules, but like if a sequel does come up as the number for the random number generator, I will read the book that I haven't read yet. So whether that's the first book, the second book, third book, you know what I mean? It's like I will read whatever I need to read next in that series. And I need to start the series. So Godkiller is my next one. Happy about that. I'm very happy about it. I'm currently doing some reading sprints on Patreon with my love Jade, who is just about to flash her snatch. Dirty bitch. And I'm about to start Godkiller by Hanakena. I was told by everyone that this is one banging prologue chapter, and they're absolutely correct. That was one banging prologue chapter. Look who has decided to pester me as I'm trying to read. Again. Ash. Ash. You are such a pest. You are such a pest. But I love you. Oh, I love you, love you, love you. Okay, I did something really naughty. Like, something really, really naughty. I know Christmas is around the corner, and this is a present to myself, or at least 2 presents to myself, but it was double stamps at Lego. Now, I haven't done any Lego since, like, I think it was April when I did the Titanic. And that was too long ago. I love Lego so much, and I haven't done it so long. So I ended up doing the double stamps. I got a couple of Lego sets. So they've just come, and I thought I'd do a little cheeky unboxing. I am 60 pages into Godkiller. I am still sprinting with Jade, but I wanted to open these before I haven't even told you what Godkiller's about, but that's fine. I will do a proper update when I get like halfway through. So let's open these first. I'm too excited. Oh my god, the boxes upon boxes. Ash and Toby are gonna love these. The first thing I got was, and it's upside down, the Hocus Pocus Cottage. My favourite, well, one of my favourite films of all time. Hocus Pocus. I wanted to do this for Halloween, but I ended up not doing it for Halloween. Couldn't afford it then. But I couldn't pass up double stamps, so I'm going to probably do this one in this video, I'm not going to lie. I'm like itching to do another Lego, so I kind of want to make this, and hopefully I can show the progress in this video. That'll be awesome. Okay, Ash, I'm going to give you the box, don't worry. And then this is the one that I am the most excited for. Like, the most excited. I present to you Barad-dûr from The Lord of the Rings. The lighting is terrible, I do apologise. But yeah, Barad-dûr from The Lord of the Rings. I did the Rivendell set back in February, or like, was it January or something? And this set is pretty much new. It came out a few months ago. And I wanted to get it as soon as it came out, but I just couldn't afford it. and I think the double stamps makes it worth it. So this is definitely going to take me a lot longer to do than the Hocus Pocus Cottage, so I probably won't do this in this video, but I can't wait to get to this. I will definitely do it in another vlog at some point. I just freaking love it, look at it! I haven't done Lego in months, it's been months and I miss it so much.
Lights fill the city. There are people everywhere. The snow is falling white and pretty as I stroll on my way to you. How will you feel about packing up today? Leave this all behind. Go get snowed in somewhere. You and me. I would rather be somewhere with you without TV.
Oh my god, it's so cold. I did training this morning and I had to sit down for like 5 minutes during training. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Can't do it. So I had to sit down for 5 minutes and recover. And then I had to walk home, freezing freaking cold. I got myself some oat milk, but vanilla flavour from Morrison's on the way back. I haven't tried it yet. It's still too hot to try. But I'm very interested. I really want to see if it's tasty or not. But yeah, usually I do just have plain oat milk, but I'll have to let you know how it is. So I did do reading sprints last night, and Jade, my love Jadey Ray Reads, came on as well, and I got about 100 pages into Godkiller. It reads very fast, by the way. 112 pages in, and I want to try and get this done before I have sprints later with Jordaline. Jordaline's invited me to do sprints on her Patreon, so I am excited for those, but I do want to try and get this finished before then. And I'm just gonna lie down. I can hear Ash running around. I think he's probably wanting to play. I'm gonna lie down. I want to put a blanket over me, but the thing is though, I have put my usual blanket that I have when I'm all snuggled up. I've made like a little fort thing, Fashion Tobu, to like play through and stuff, and I've used that. And I'm gonna have to see if I can find another blanket, because my duvet upstairs, Tobu is currently sleeping on there. In fact, he loves sleeping upstairs in my bedroom like all day, every day. So I currently don't have a blanket because my cats. I don't know if you heard that, but they're banging upstairs now, jeez. This one follows Kissin, and they have declared that they are going to kill gods, because in the prologue chapter, Kissin's family gets completely killed by these zealots of a fire god, and so Kissin is vowing vengeance against any god. And honestly, that prologue chapter was so exciting, so fast paced. It literally hooked me straight away. I was like, oh, this is actually like fantastic. Now I'm 112 pages in. I'm kind of losing a little bit of interest. Like, it isn't grabbing me too much anymore. It's not doing anything bad though, I don't think. Like, I am liking it, and it's been absolutely fine. It's doing like nothing offensive to me. But this is the kind of story where I think the plot is overtaking character. In characters, I'm not really gelling with too much at the minute. I honestly do love the fact that they are so goal driven, and it's definitely propelling the story forward. But I don't think I've formed any attachments just yet, and I know this is a series. I think it's going to be a trilogy. I have the second book. I think the third book is about to come out, or maybe it's already out, I don't know. So when it's a series, I want to feel invested in characters, and I am 112 pages in, so I thought, oh, maybe by now I would have some kind of semblance of a connection, but I kind of really don't. So I'm really just reading this for plot, but at the same time, the plot is kind of simmered down. Oh, I mean, yeah, the oat milk vanilla flavour, it's nice. I don't know, I just love just a normal plain cappuccino. Syrups, I can give or take, honestly. But yeah, it's nice, it's fine. I think I will just like stick to normal coffees. I'll go through the vanilla flavour bottle and then I will just stick to my normal. But I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I tried it for something different. I am so tired. I was up late last night, booking flights to Iceland because I'm going to Iceland in February. I bought my place on Jade's Trover trip to Iceland, so I'm really excited. Got those flights sorted. I got my flights to China sorted about a week ago with Becca, so my travel for the next 2 months is sorted, and I can just sigh a breath of relief. And then I remember Christmas is 2 weeks today. And then I start to get anxious again. Oh my god, like it's one thing after another. Like if it isn't like trying to sort out travel for one thing, it's like Christmas is coming. What? Like in 2 weeks today? Oh my god. So I'm trying so hard to just concentrate on the here and now. Try not to worry too much about it. In terms of presents, I've gotten my niece and one of my nephews. I have to get my other nephew. Have to get my mum, my sister, my brother, my brother's girlfriend, my dad, my half sister. Is that everyone? Okay, so I think I've only got like seven more presents to get. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. But yeah, sorry, I don't really have too much to say about Godkiller at this point. It's words on a page.
Is it wrong for me to want you for my own? This Christmas, let the others miss us. Let's go get snowed in. Let's go get snowed.
Oh, that pizza I just made was supposed to have gravy dip, but I really fucked up the gravy, so that didn't happen, but the pizza itself was actually quite nice. I have finished Godkiller by Hannah Kane, and I didn't mind it all that much. There's been a lot of negative press with this one with my friends. There's a couple of people I watched that don't really like it all that much, and there was a bit of a mixed response when I mentioned it on the Patreon live show last night. So I feel like that kind of tapered my expectations, and I went into this expecting a little bit less. This felt a little bit like a bite-sized fantasy. It was quite easy to get into. It wasn't confusing. I felt like after a certain point, the excitement came back a little bit. I did feel myself starting to get a little bit bored, but I think as soon as I was starting to feel a little bit more for the characters, I started to enjoy it a little bit better. And there were moments of suspense, moments of tension. You know, we have our group of characters. They are on this journey. We have Kissen, who is trying to get Inara to be separated from a god that has attached itself to her. And that itself is a sort of really weird amalgamation of an animal companion. So I found that dynamic to be very, very bizarre actually, but quite cool to read at the same time. And there are a few grey moments and like a bit of grey area there in terms of like who do I trust and like which characters do I actually like. But yeah, I found there were a few scenes where they are being pursued by these creatures, these beasts, and that was quite exciting. There was a scene specifically when they're trying to get in a boat and one of the characters says, "Get in the boat." And I just remember from Titanic when Rose's mum says to Rose, "Get into the boat." And I just, for some reason, had that playing in my mind. And then all I could envision from then on was, and this is totally not accurate whatsoever, but I started to say Kate Winslet as Kissen, which, bad casting. Bad, I cannot say Kate Winslet specifically as Rose from Titanic in this role, but I was picturing Kissen after that moment. So fun fact, I'm a moron. I like the exploration of faith and who and what you put your beliefs into. I like the way that the characters represented either the ideal side of, you know, putting your faith into something versus the total opposite of that, you know, like a character who goes against that and like challenges that. So we do have a lot of characters who do represent, you know, these certain themes, and they do enhance it with their actions and how the story progresses. I found that to be like quite cool to read, especially since this is quite a short book, only 288 pages long. Fly through. You will absolutely fly through. One could argue it probably wasn't enough time, and one could also argue that it's multiple POV, and I feel like that was a little bit unnecessary, I'm not gonna lie, especially since the characters do come together and it's a back and forth between these characters who are already right there with each other, because each chapter is like chapter 18 Inara, Kissen, you know, like it has a character name, Ilogas, chapter 17. We didn't even need all of that. I mean, yes, the third person narrator was kind of zoning in on that character as everything was going on, but it was so unnecessary because pretty much everyone was already there, at least for like a good chunk of this book. So it felt a little unnecessary, probably an unnecessary criticism as well. But to be honest, I don't really have a whole great deal of criticism for it really, just other than the fact that it didn't blow me away. It wasn't the most original thing I've ever read, but you know, it was serviceable. I liked it. I'm going to give it a 3 or a 3.5. I'm definitely going to continue. There are some action sequences, some action set pieces towards the end that got me invested in the story again, and I'm excited to see where the story goes. But I have heard that it's just a lot of the same in the second book from this book, so I'm going to be a little bit wary going into it as well. That did come up on the Emboss or Toss on the random number generator. I think it's somewhere over there. My neck is still killing me. Yeah, it's all the way at the top. I would grab it, but even though that came up in the Emboss or Toss random number generator, I had to read this book in its place, of course. So I'm not going to read Sunbringer right now, unless it comes up in the random number generator. I'm also going to emboss this, but I left my embosser downstairs, so I'm going to go and grab it. So that's 2 for 2. I've embossed both books I've read so far in this video. Stunning. I feel like I have to show you the embossing, otherwise it doesn't count. 358 to 959 is the TBR range. Let's do the random number generator. Let's see what I get. 644. Whew. Please be good. Please be a good one. 644, Son of Blood and Ruin by Marie-Les. Marie-Les? Marie-Les. Was this in a fairy loot? Most likely. It was fairy loot. It was September 2023. It's a gender-bent Zorro fantasy retelling featuring a heroic warrior sorceress, a pursuit of justice, shape-shifting, and Mesoamerican mythology. Okay. Oh, that sounds awesome. More gods. There is more gods. I don't know if I fancy it right after Godkiller, but I mean, I did say I fancy fantasy, so it is delivering. I'm not going to pass. I'm not going to like toss it. Oh, and we also have an heir to the Spanish throne called Lady Leonora. However, no one suspects that Leonora and Pantera are one and the same. So the heir to the throne is a princess who is masquerading as a vigilante called Pantera. That's so cool. Okay, no, I'm excited to read it now. I think this will be really good. At least it knocks off another BookBox subscription that I've been terrible at keeping up with. Yeah, let's hear it actually. I'm quite happy about this now. Was a little bit unsure to begin with when it first came up, but no, it sounds great.
Santa, tell me when you'll show yourself to me. Help me find who my baby will be. Santa, tell me when you'll show yourself to me. Help me find who my baby will be tonight. It's all I need. Somebody that I'm lonely care for me. Somebody I can give her time and ring. Someone in this puzzle who can be my missing piece. You know I don't need anything else this Christmas Eve. Just want someone to be with under the shining tree. Hear the sleigh bells ring and the caroling. Under the mistletoe, under the moonlight. We can take it slow, I can be your only guide. Don't need to think twice when I got you by my side. With you everything feels just right. Didn't want to admit that I needed this wish. I know you got a lot on your list, but all I'm asking is Santa, tell me when you show yourself to me. Help me find who my baby will be. Santa, tell me when you show yourself to me. Help me find who my baby will be tonight. Tonight, tonight, tonight.
you just hear like
We are vile. We are absolutely vile. I'm okay.
I'm also imagining like in between sprints, you're can't even say it. You're like putting your ass against the glass window.
Not even just against the glass, but against the computer screen. You didn't turn the mic off. You didn't turn the mic off. Or the camera. Stop cam. And you felt sorry for me. Well, isn't that right? You're great. Because you are so beautiful. Oh, fuck. I think you're wonderful. Every single time I'm about film, I put on the Wicked soundtrack and I just like listen to a random song just to like get me in the mood to film. And for some reason I've just had the because you are so beautiful just like stuck in my head on repeat. And I like to tell myself that in the mirror. So whenever I'm like lazing about and I'm like, oh Gavin, why are you being so lazy? I'll just randomly burst in a song, because you are so beautiful. Or if I'm like, oh God, why do I need the toilet again? Because you are so beautiful. It's just, yeah. So I did sprints with Jordan Line last night. They were so much fun. Oh my God, I couldn't stop laughing. I'm not going to give you any context to what we were laughing about because it's NSFW, not safe for work, but honestly so hilarious. But I did attempt Son of Blood and Ruin, and I am afraid to say this is going to be a DNF. I made it to page 60. I can't. I'm not taken in by the characters. I'm finding the writing to not be the best. The writing is like so short and stumpy. Like it feels very list-like. In fact, I'll give you an example. And when I read this example out, you might think, that sounds normal. To me, while I was reading it, it did not. I blaze across rooftops. My legs fly as I'm gliding through the air. Riders race below with their firearms drawn. In their crazed flight, they trample the marketplace. Chickens flutter in fright while wooden carts spin on the street. A volley of bullets flies after me. A moment later, I become aware of a stampede in my leg, like a nail hammered through. Every step I take intensifies it. Warm liquid runs down my thigh. I've been hit. I don't know, it just sounds like we're listing one thing after the other. And like, that's like the action, that's the plot. And I don't know, I just not feeling immersed in the writing. I feel like there's just so many short sentences that I keep stopping myself as I'm like finding my flow with the reading. And I just stop myself and I stop myself. Sometimes it can be very effective, especially for like the short and quickness of it. But it was done a little bit too much in this. Without like the embellishment, without the thought and feeling and the emotion behind it. I felt like it was coming across as a little bit soulless. In a way, like, I feel awful for saying it, but I couldn't feel attached to this whatsoever. And I felt like we were just, like, pushed straight into the story. Like, I wasn't even sure what was going on to begin with, because we went from one extreme to the next. And I guess that is indicative of the fact that the main character is moonlighting as this Zorro-type figure, and then we have her as a princess, and those two things, and, like, how they do juxtapose with one another, how they clash with one another, and that's fine. But it was like we were thrust into, like, two extremes. Like, we have her fighting people in the first chapter, and then we're going to like her potentially getting married in the next, and I'm like, how did we get to this point? I don't know, I wasn't like lowered into the story. I was kind of just like placed in the middle of it and just being like, okay, you do you, Gav, you figure it out, you work your way through that. So I really wasn't feeling it, and I'm going to DNF this because you are so beautiful, or lack thereof. And you know what, this is confirmation that I need to cancel Fairy Loot Adult and Young Adult. I have the combo. The reason why I haven't cancelled, well, earlier was because I wanted the early access to the books that I do want. In two, I have the combo. So if I would keep the adult one, but if I cancel the combo, I have to go on the waitlist again for the adult box, right? Like, that's how it works. And I didn't want to lose that early access, so I've kept the YA and adult combo, but I have the Romantasy box now, so that means I will still get early access, right? Isn't it? Right, please answer me this before I cancel, because I was going to cancel right there. Answer me this. I am subscribed to the Fairy Loot Romantasy. If I unsubscribe from the adult and young adult, will I still get the early access emails? Because it's still like a Fairy Loot that I'm subscribed to. Or do I have to be subscribed to either the young adult or the adult? I feel like it should be fine to cancel, but can I please get confirmation? Does anyone know? Please let me know. Because I need to cancel it. This is the thing, like, why do I have to subscribe to have early access? I don't think I'm, like, reading very much Illumicrate. Even though that Godkiller one I read was Illumicrate, and I'm glad I read it because I did like it, Oh, but it does mean that I'm not going to be embossing this. I am going to be tossing this. So I want to add it to all the books that I'm unhauling. So I can add that to the unhaul pile. And I still need to do my shelves, which I was thinking of maybe doing today. Well, it was either going to be that or making my Hocus Pocus cottage. I feel like it's just going to cause so much mess and I need to like really dedicate pretty much a day to do it. But it does mean that I need to pick another book. And I hope you guys really don't mind this, but I kind of don't want to do a random number generator in this video again, just because it'll probably give me another book. You know, I got Godkiller and then I got Son of Blood and Ruin, and I just don't really fancy reading another book. Which again just highlights the problem of me being subscribed to these book boxes and not really being that interested in the books. So yeah, please answer that question about like, will I still get the early access emails if I stick to the Romantasy box? I do want to actually, because I never put my Kindle books and I never put my audiobooks on my spreadsheet, so they're always being neglected. And so I thought for the next one, since I do need to sort out this room and or make my Hocus Pocus cottage, I thought maybe I would listen to an audiobook. And there is an audiobook that I have on Audible that I have downloaded that I've been very excited to read. This is Audible. And it's this.
Soundbooth Theater presents Dungeon Crawler Carl, written by Matt Dinniman. Narrated by Jeff Hayes.
So yeah, I have Dungeon Crawler Call on audiobook and I'm very excited to read it. I've been thinking about it for a good long while, and this is part of my TBR because it is on my Audible. I keep forgetting about my audiobooks and Kindle books because it's not on a list. It's just like out of sight, out of mind, you know what I mean? So technically this is still my TBR and I just want to read it. Like, I'm so excited to read it. I want to read it so badly. I do really desperately want to sort these books out, which means I might be doing a little bit more unhauling. So yeah, the brutal unhaul doth continue. Because you are so beautiful.
I kinda adore you, but don't get too proud. You're like my favorite snack, I won't say it out loud. I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of weird that I got. Your songs are in my head, it's on repeat. The awkward dance I do, but only on your street. I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of weird that I
Okay, so I have managed to unhaul around about 27 books from my young adult and adult shelves. A few of them are bookmark books. Some of them I have read though. There are a few in there that I have read. Some of them are going to be my worst books of the year, so I do want to hold on to them just a little bit longer so I can hold them up in the video. So there's a good 27. I still have the like 4 stacks of books that I need to add to my shelves, but there are quite a few gaps in my shelves now that I think they should be able to fit, potentially, maybe. I'm wondering if maybe I can take all of like Stephen King's books and put them somewhere else, or all of Brandon Sanderson's books and put them somewhere else, like have a little bit of a display for them. Maybe I should have kept one of those like cube bookshelves, but yeah, what's done is done. But if I do so for space, I might take off, yeah, like either King or Sanderson and give them their own like kind of dedicated shelf somewhere, somehow, somewhere. This is such a musical episode of Emboss or Toss. Emboss or Toss if you've seen Wicked. I need to stop talking about Wicked. I'm getting on my own nerves. But I am on chapter 4 of Dungeon Crawler Call. I'm loving it. I'm genuinely freaking fucking loving it. It's so good. It's so much fun. I didn't even realise what it was bloody about either. I just had the audiobook, so I was like, okay, click start. And yeah, so we follow Carl. He still has his ex-girlfriend's cat called Princess Donut. And Princess Donut, she gets like stuck in a tree. So Carl, I love the kind of dynamic between them as well, because Carl doesn't really want a cat, but he's that kind of person who isn't an asshole, so he still like looks after the cat and he has a bit of a bond with it, honestly. But he goes outside and he goes to like save this cat, and then all of a sudden like all the buildings just like collapse, almost like, you know, like a tin can squishing, and all the buildings are gone, Carl's gone, and there's barely anyone around him alive. Like, he's the only person alive, essentially, him and his cat. And then there's like this alien voice that's like, we have like taken over planet Earth and like there are going to be like these entrances to these dungeons, and you have to like go through the levels of the dungeons, and it feels like a video game. Like it feels like a video game, which I think is the point, and it's just so much fun so far. So yeah, now Carl is in these dungeons, he's trying to get through the levels, and he has Princess Donna. I love it because it's like he can say like menu, and like a menu comes up, and he wins like loot prizes and loot boxes and stuff. And one thing that really made me laugh, though, that's the thing as well, like this is very funny too, one thing that made me laugh is like this voice. It sounds like a game show host, and the audiobook is doing a fantastic job at presenting that. And he's like, you have come with a cat, you're the only human who came with a cat, congratulations, you've earned the name of Crazy Cat Lady, and stuff like that. And then there's like another one where it's like, you came alone, oh no, like you're probably gonna die, like, why'd you do that? Reward none, haha. You know, it's just like, it's just so funny. You know, it's so funny. I'm gonna order myself a copy of this. I'm sorry, but I'm ordering a copy of it. It's so good. I want to read all of them now. This is like the absolute opposite of how I found like the previous books in this video, honestly. Like I love it when I can start reading or listening to a book and just instantly fall in. That's what I've done. I like fallen in love like so quickly. This is like so much fun. So much fun. And listening to the audiobook while doing all of this as well is just, oh, it's making my day. Making my absolute day. I don't want to stop. I want to like read the entire series now. So I am going to continue on to see if I can move some things along, get things on. I'm going to have to sort out all those books as well. Sort them in alphabetical order by author surname, and in height order if they are hardbacks as well. There's a lot of processes going into it. I'm very excited to make my new home library tour video, which should hopefully come at the start of January. I want to sort everything out. So hopefully I get... Sorry, my voice broke. Puberty, you know. So hopefully I get everything looking great for the end of the month. So then I can, you know, do a little bit of cleaning up. Maybe get some like little knickknacks for the shelves as well, just to really make it look chef's kiss. But I'm going to update my spreadsheet of all of these books that I want to donate to my library. I'm going to send them another email. Like, I don't think I should send it before Christmas because I feel like they're going to be swamped. So I think at the start of January, I'll send a new email. These are all the middle grades I have that I would love to donate. These are all the young adult books, the adult books, graphic novels, manga, because they don't have graphic novels or manga. They only have like Heartstopper Volume 4 and 5. So I might buy a new copy of 1, 2 and 3 for them, so that they have all of Heartstopper. Like, why not? Let's start a manga section. Let's start a graphic novel section in my local library. Let's do it. So yeah, I'm going to update that spreadsheet. I'm going to see if they can take this stuff. They said that they would, but they were undergoing renovations, so they can't accept anything yet. That was a few months ago. I have been down recently, and there is scaffolding up. So, you know, I feel like maybe it is still too early for them to accept anything. But that's what I'm going to do. That's where these books are going to go. Anything they can't take, anything they don't want to take, I might try and sell online, or I don't know, do something with them, I don't know. Just jumping in here to let you know the final tally of what I've unhauled in this video, because I think this is the perfect place to say it. And I have finished reading all the books for this vlog. And the total amount of books that I'm unhauling in this vlog, including books that I'm tossing, you know, at the end, is 141. So I'm actually unhauling 141 books in this video. I cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. I might do a separate unhaul video going through my reasons why I'm unhauling a lot of these books or things like that. Maybe. I'm not really that interested in doing that, honestly. But if you are, if you want to see like the 141 books, then I could end up doing that. Let me know down below. But yeah, thought I would let you know that's quite a lot of books to unhaul. But yeah, just in case you're wondering. But I'm going to go back to this book because I'm loving my time reading it, honestly.
I kinda adore you, but don't get too proud. You're like my favorite snack, I won't say it out loud. I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of weird that I got. Your songs are in my head, it's on repeat. The awkward dance I do, but only on your street. I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of weird that I got. In a world full of ordinary, you're my playful dream, turning everyday moments into a sparkling zine. I won't say you're perfect, I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of weird that I got. Kinda adore you, but don't get too proud.
Okay, I have managed to put everything on the shelves. There's still some space left as well. So that's awesome. I've put a gap where I'm going to put the hardback edition of Dungeon Crawler Call because yes, I'm going to buy myself a copy of that. I freaking love it. I still love it. I'm on chapter 11. I'm loving it so much. Like, it's too early to say it's a 5-star, but it's feeling like a 5-star. And yeah, so I'm not going to show you this because I want it to be a bit of a surprise for my home library tour video, bookshelf tour. Obviously it's not like amazing, incredible and everything, but it's like so tidy now. It's looking so much better. Even this side is looking so much better. Like, this is the best it's looked since I've moved. The best it's looked since I moved. But yeah, I'm starting to get really hungry, so I'm gonna cook. I think I have an Alfredo recipe from Gusto. I need to do that next. I'm gonna continue listening to Dungeon Crawler Call because it's just amazing. So good. According to the audiobook, I have 4 hours and 42 minutes left. Perfect. It's only 3 p.m. It's getting dark. I might even start doing my Hocus Pocus Lego tonight. Potentially. Oh, it's just been such a lovely day. Did I tell you my mum came earlier as well? She came, helped me do a lot of tidying in the kitchen, the living room. So everything's just like feeling so much better. Feels like a cleanse today. This feels like a winter reset, almost. I'm starting to get hungry. Guys, I've actually burned my non-stick pans. Like, this is why I'm telling you, I'm so bad at cooking. I'm so bad at cooking. I even burned the non-stick pans. Like, what's wrong with me? Look what happens when I mood read. When I pick a book that I just really, really want to read in that moment. Gavin knows best. That is what it is. New achievement, 5 stars. I loved it. It was so much fun. I haven't had that much fun reading a book in quite some time. Like, it's not even serious, you know what I mean? It's like not, well, it can be serious. It can be very serious. There were actually some moments that were a little bit sad. Especially when we find other crawlers, you know, like other humans in this like whole game that's been happening. Because this is lit RPG. I've never even freaking heard of that. So essentially it's like reading a video game. I guess the closest thing I've probably read is Wonderscape by Jennifer Bell, which is a middle grade. So I feel like if you want a middle grade equivalent of Dungeon Crawler Call, then Wonderscape by Jennifer Bell will be the one. But honestly, some of it's so absolutely ridiculous that it just made it so funny. Some of the jokes didn't hit. Like, some of it was like a little bit cringe in terms of the humor. However, it was like majorly funny. Like, the majority of it was funny. And sometimes I was like, I should not be laughing at that. Like, some of it is a little bit of dark humor. And I thought, am I an asshole if I laugh? It's that kind of book. Absolutely glorious. Freaking love Princess Donut. Cat that can talk? Sign me up. Honestly, every single time, if there's a cat, animal companion, I'm there. And Princess Donut had some of like the funniest moments. There were so many good references as well. References that I would not have expected in this book. Like Gossip Girl. There's like a conversation about Gossip Girl in this. And I just wasn't expecting that. It was so funny. But then yeah, you do have like something like really comedic happen, and then something kind of scary happens because, you know, like they are fighting for their lives, you know, they are part of this game that's being televised. And it felt a little bit Hunger Games-esque. Like, they get like subscribers and they get like patrons. And there's a really good commentary on popularity, fame, influencers, and like getting more subscribers, more, you know, all of this, that, and the other. There's actually a good commentary on that, I think. This one just having, you know, those dungeon levels, and it just, I can't describe it. It's just so good. I love the fact that they have like the health potions, and there are like these stats, and sometimes these stats come up about these creatures, and then you read the stats, and it just felt like a fucking good time. It was just so good to read or listen to. The audiobook was fantastic. The audiobook was absolutely fantastic. The audiobook narrator did such a good job of voices. Wide range of voices. There was not a single character that sounded alike to another character. This narrator went the extra mile. Who is the narrator? I've got it on my Audible. And yes, I did overnight ship the physical copy. It should be coming tomorrow. I haven't bought any of the sequels, even though I'm desperate to like start reading them, because I need to be good. I've got more Christmas presents to buy for other people. Not just for myself, but for other people. Jeff Hayes, written by Matt Dinniman and narrated by Jeff Hayes. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'll be getting the physical copies of the rest of the series, and I will also be listening to the audiobook in tandem. It will be an immersive experience, and it's going to be the best experience ever. I just freaking loved it. 5 stars. 5 stars. Does it really like deserve 5 stars? On a technical level, probably not. I don't think it's like the best written thing I've ever read. But if you can entertain the hell out of me for an entire book, you deserve those 5 stars. I don't think I've got anything else to say spoiler free about it. It was just great. So it is, yep, 10 p.m. I have training at 9 a.m. So it's been taking me such a long time to fall asleep, like every night for a while now. And I usually have to get up to use the bathroom through the night. So I haven't really had a great full night's sleep in quite some time. I am sleeping, but in bits. So I should probably go to the doctors about that. But anyway, my point is, usually I will be up a little bit later, but I do have training at 9. I want to go. I want to be refreshed for it. For the past like half an hour, because I was like listening to this book, I kind of got excited for like content planning for next year. And so I have been doing some inquiries for 3 different videos that I want to do for my vlogs of Halloween in 2025, which is 10 months away. But I'm already like excited to like get started. I've got some fun ideas for it. So yeah, I've sent 3 different inquiries to 3 different places. And that's all I'm saying about it. Nothing more is going to be said. But yeah, I have been doing a little bit of content planning for 2025 today, as well as I've been listening to the audiobook as I finished the audiobook. Also, Aaron from Booked and Busy was sprinting on Patreon, so I watched Aaron sprints as I was listening to the audiobook. Yeah, that's all I've got. I'm half tempted to do the random number generator, just to see what it would give me. But at the same time, no, because I do want to read Orbital. So I'm going to read Orbital next, and then I think I might do 1 more book for this video, which would end up being like 6 books. That's quite a lot for one video, right? Like, is that enough? Look at me. I'm usually used to reading like 51 or like 10 plus books for videos. That, you know, like when I read less than that, I'm like, is that enough for a video? Of course it is. So 2 more books. We can do it. And we're also going to have a full night's sleep tonight. I'm going to make it happen. You might be thinking I'm a little bit too prepared, but I've booked 2 of the locations I need to go to for my vlogs of Halloween 2025. I'm going to one of them in May. Whoa. I'm going to one of them in May and the other one in July. There's still like a few more locations I need to book, but I thought I would do these, you know, as early as possible, get them booked, do the deposits, so then I can afford it by just paying in installments through the year, rather than me being a little bit last minute with it, not being able to afford to go anywhere because, you know, like pretty much everywhere is booked or it's like too much at once. So that's essentially what I've done. I can't believe it. I'm already, you know, planning for September, October content. But I need to, because one of them, I was checking the dates and there were a lot of red, you know, marks in the calendar, and I was like, damn, people have already been booking. It's a good job that I have booked. And, you know, I was like sending emails and I was, you know, responding to people, and I was just like getting these like 2 places sorted. So yeah, that's 2 places down. Still a couple more that I need to do, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But no, today's been like such a good day in like getting things arranged for next year, so I feel quite accomplished for that. I did also read all of Orbital by Samantha Harvey, and I wasn't really the biggest fan of it. I've given it 2 stars. Yeah, so we follow 6 astronauts and they're up in like the space station. They're orbiting Earth and they are like observing Earth. They're given descriptions of Earth, and we have these like 6 different, you know, characters. We're kind of pretty much saying the same thing every now and then. I found a little bit repetitive, a little bit boring. I don't know if maybe because I finished Dungeon Crawler Carl that I was kind of like, it's not as fun, it's not as engaging. And obviously like this is a bit more literary. It is nicely written, but honestly I don't think it was like that amazing. This might be very blasphemous to say, but like, I don't know, it's just there's only so many times I can hear the Earth being described, you know, without it being like too repetitive. And it felt like a little bit of the plot was forced because there wasn't really much plot at all. It is said in the summary that there is like the death of a mother, and so we kind of examine human life and like fleeting human life and stuff. But I feel like, you know, some of that's been done a little bit better in, you know, fantasy stories and in fiction stories, where, you know, that kind of story wasn't kind of like forced in. Like it felt a little bit forced in, I'm not gonna lie. It felt like Samantha Harvey was like trying to do something because all they were doing was just like observing. And I feel like it could have been such a great look into like culture and maybe some character development, but honestly I felt like it just didn't really do anything with the characters. Some of this space stuff was interesting because I am fascinated by space. A lot of the times I have an existential crisis thinking about space and how big it is and how small we are, but I feel like this could have worked better if it had just been, I don't know, I don't know how to improve. And I'm not the kind of person to offer improvements. Maybe as a non-fiction this would have worked better. It just felt like I was given a little bit of a look into the life of an astronaut, like the day in the life, in teasing that interesting concept and then kind of pulling back when I think we got too deep. Is Samantha Harvey an expert on space? With gratitude to NASA and ASA for the wealth of information made available. Okay, so it sounds like they just kind of did some online research, you know, that they've looked into from documents and things that NASA and ASA have already put out there, rather than actually doing some new things herself. She's a tutor of creative writing at Bath Spa University. Okay. I don't know, felt a little surface level. Didn't really feel like it examined, you know, space and all the things that I'm personally interested in enough. Yeah, it was fine. I'm probably going to give it 2 stars. So I'm not going to be embossing it. I will be tossing it, which I feel awful about because I did buy this when I was in Edinburgh, when I was with my friend, and they mentioned it. And I was like, oh, that does sound really good. I'll get it. Peer pressure. But hey, if my local library doesn't already have it, you know, they're getting a Booker Prize winner. Just call me the Grinch when he gives the Christmas presents back. This could end up being the last book read for this video, so let's generate a new number, 895, and hopefully round out this video with a win. 895. 895 is the Issachar Falcon. Oh, it's, well, I think that's the middle of a series. I think The Wolf of Oren-Yaro is the first book, which actually, I think that's a Broken Binding book. I actually would be interested in reading that. It's a little big. It's a little big. I mean, after just reading Orbital, that's actually fine. I'll go grab it. I mean, this is another book box book, so I kind of figured that that would happen. I'm very interested now to see like how many book box books I have that I haven't read yet. The Wolf of Oren-Yaro by K.S. Villoso is the first book in the Chronicles of the Wolf Queen series. So yeah, it was the second book that came up. I will read the first book. Really hoping I like this because I do have the trilogy. They all came in broken binding, so I had better like it. And this will be the 6th book read for this video. Hoping for another 5-star. Speaking of 5 stars, my copy of Dungeon Crawler Call Game, and I am so excited to emboss it. I need to emboss it, don't I? Since I'm keeping it, I'm embossing it. Nothing truly bad. Sorry, I've still been listening to the Wicked soundtrack. Stamping Dungeon Crawler Call since it is staying in my library. Fresh off the presses. Oh, it really did take all of my strength not to buy the sequels. It really did. But it was either get the sequels or start booking my locations for Vlogs of Halloween 2025, and I chose the locations. Tobu, I'm trying to set up for my blanket fort for sprints later. Why is it whenever I try and do anything, Tobu or Ash gets in the bloody way? This is unacceptably. Unacceptably. It's my blanket fort. Get out. Okay, I think I've done my blanket fort. It looks shit, but I've got Ash under here, and I've got like a little entrance for Ash and Tobu over there. There's Tobu too. Probably can't see him, but there he is. And there's Ash, already getting comfortable. But yeah, it's really shit. It is really, really shit. I've got nowhere else to be able to put it because I don't have a blanket long enough to put over the top. So I've got it like under the cushions a little bit, taking the cushions off the back and put it on there. And then I've got my poofy thing that I've just put in there. I'm just worried about the cats jumping on this because it'll just come down straight away. Won't it, Tobu? You better not even think about it. But yeah, I'm going to lie in here for tonight's sprints if Ash and Tobu let me. And he is bloody better. Do you like being under here? Do you like it? But yeah, there's the cat's entrance. It's not as fancy. Not as fancy. It's gonna fall in like 2 minutes. So I went upstairs to get some fairy lights. Come down. Look at what they've done. I went upstairs for 2 minutes. I bloody knew it. Okay, now it's finished. I mean, it's looking really shit. But I put the fairy lights in just to give me some light underneath as well. You know, now it's a blanket fort. Isn't it, Tobu? Do you like it, Ash? It's mine. It's my blanket fort. Don't get comfortable. And do not jump on the top again. Otherwise, it's all going to come down. Yep. Tobu's ruined it. Okay, it's half an hour before my fort sprints with Gabby, so I thought I would come in and, well, check in with the first part of this book. I'm 141 pages in. I managed to read like that much before the sprints, and I'm not really feeling it, honestly, and I don't want to DNF. I don't want to give up on the series. I don't want to like actually toss it and get rid of it. But I'm just not feeling it right now. I don't know if maybe Dungeon Crawler Call was a little bit too fun and engaging and entertaining, that things are just like not comparing to it at the minute. And so because this isn't really holding my attention, I'm like, do I give up and then move on to something else? I do want one last book in this video because, you know, I'm doing these sprints with Gabby, and then tomorrow I do want to try, I keep saying this, I do want to try and build a Lego tomorrow and have an audiobook on at the same time, if possible, but I just don't think this is the one. I do love the fact that this is Filipino inspired, so we are following Queen Tallien, and I love the way this starts though. It starts with her being like, yeah, so what, I killed a guy, I don't care. And she is described as like the bitch queen and stuff like that, but I feel like after that first chapter, it just hasn't been as engaging and it hasn't been as exciting. The chapters have felt like they've been dragging quite a bit, and I feel a little bit like Scuttle in The Little Mermaid before they start singing Kiss the Girl. Nothing is happening. I was not there for like the first 140 pages. Well, maybe the first like 10-ish pages, but then after that I was like, it's feeling a little bit political. You know, there is something with her husband and bringing about kingdoms and things that just don't really resonate with me as a reader. I'm not the biggest fan of like political fantasies or anything that kind of focuses a lot on like alliances, war, which is probably like 90% of fantasy. But that political aspect of it is just not keeping my attention. I'm just not feeling it. And other than the first part of the chapter where she's like, yeah, I killed a man, I don't really care, which probably sounds worse the way I'm saying it. They called me the bitch queen and the she-wolf because I murdered a man and exiled my king the night before they crowned me. I did not regret killing the man. He had it coming, and my father told me to take action before you second guess yourself. Like, I love all of these aspects, but then the only way I've seen her since then is just being like kind of rude to people. Like, I haven't really seen her be, which you could say, oh yeah, obviously she's being a bitch, she's the bitch queen or whatever, but like, I'm just saying it as rude. Like, I'm not saying it as like a kind of, yes, I support you, this is awesome kind of thing. It's feeling the opposite at the minute, and I'm waiting for me to root for her, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it. I'm really just not feeling it. It'll be a soft enough. I don't want to get rid of the series. I'm not going to emboss it, but I don't want to toss it either. If I don't want to toss it, I'm not going to toss it. This will be left in limbo. We have emboss, toss, limboss. I just don't think my head's in it right now. And I don't want to get another BookBox subscription book. If I could get a short enough book to like read tonight with Gabby and then listen to an audiobook all day tomorrow as I'm building Lego, that could be the one. But the thing is, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if I do a random number generator if it's going to give me a book that I'll be able to do during the sprints. Should we risk it? Should we add some tension to this episode and risk it all? Let's risk it for a chocolate biscuit. Okay, I put in the numbers 359937. Let's do it. 471. And I will let myself re-click Ash. Not right now. What was the number again? 471. Not right now, Ash. I will allow myself to do it again. I do want to read this. I do want to read this. Are you kidding me? I really want to read this. Floating Hotel, Grace Curtis. And actually, I do think I got this from Broken Binding. I do actually think I got this from Broken Binding as well. Again, when will I get a non-BookBox book is my question. I don't even think it's that long either. So it's got 3.68. Okay. Cozy debut. Science. So it's a cozy sci-fi. Welcome to the Grand Abiona Hotel, home of the finest food, the sweetest service, and the very best views the galaxy has to offer. All year round, it moves from planet to planet, system to system, powering guests across the furthest reaches of the Milky Way. Oh, I really want to read this one. Oh, well, of course I want to read it. I bought it. But the last word in suborbital luxury and an absolute magnet for intrigue. Intrigue such as, why are there love poems in the lobby inbox? How many Imperial spies are currently on board? What is the real purpose of the Problem Solvers Conference? And perhaps most pertinently, who is driving the ship? Great question. LGBT. Yes. Oh, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. Oh, there's a 1-star there, 2-star. We're not even going to look at it. We're not even going to look at it. It's going to be about me and my opinions. I actually really want to read this one. Yay.
I can feel it in the air. It's so warm. Before we know it, it's Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. This year, I'ma give me something special. It doesn't cost a dime, but it's precious. Hopes that I won't forget it, then I won't forgive him, no. Been thinking about you and me. Another kind of chemistry. I got nothing on my Christmas list but you, but you. I love the snow and I love the scarves, the candles lighting the decade malls. But something's missing. I wonder what. This year, I'ma give me something special. It doesn't cost a dime, but it's precious. Hopes that I won't forget it, then I won't forgive him, no. Been thinking about you and me. Another kind of chemistry. I got nothing on my Christmas list but you, but you.
I'm just coming in with a quick update because I really don't have a whole lot to say about Floating Hotel just yet. It's been fine, like absolutely fine. I'm 121 pages in, read all of that during the reading sprints with Gabby last night. The forts were really fun, but mine didn't last very long because, you know, I also had Ash climbing on top of it and destroying it. So can I have anything when I have cats? No. But yeah, this is absolutely fine. Like, not really much to write home about. It is cozy sci-fi. Isn't a whole lot going on. The hotel is called the Grand Abiona Hotel, and I keep wanting to call it the Grand Areola Hotel. I'm just like, that's not the hotel name. But yeah, each chapter is kind of followed a different character. We follow Carl for like the first chapter, and even like the bit of a prologue. Kind of liked how it started, because it kind of starts with him being almost a story on this hotel, this like floating hotel that's going from planet to planet, and he's only like 12 years old. And then the first chapter jumps like 40 years, and he's like the manager of this hotel. And so we do follow Carl to begin with, and then we go to different people who are like at this hotel, and you do see other characters like in the background a little bit, or they come into it. So it's been very, not exactly jarring, because I kind of do like the floating around the narrative and like floating around the characters just to get a little bit of a glimpse into the life of people at this hotel. There's also this interesting thing about this emperor in the background. Like, you hear about him like destroying planets or something. At the minute, like, there's not really a whole lot of plot, but like in the background there is like something going on. There is these weird sonnets, well, not exactly weird, like someone's leaving like Shakespeare sonnets around. We don't know who that is, but it's like not really capturing my interest at the minute. I'm not exactly struggling. I don't want a DNF. In fact, I do have the audiobook on Spotify so that I can finally do my Lego that I wanted to do all week. I'm gonna finally do that today before my festive movie night later on today. I'm watching Miracle on 34th Street with my patrons, the 1994 version. So I do want to finish this. Like, I don't want to pick another book. I don't know what would come up. I don't know if I'd have the audiobook for it. I even scrolled Audible to see what's in my library, if there was anything else like Dungeon Crawler Call that I already own in my library, my Audible library. But there was nothing that I was like really interested in reading at the minute. So yeah, I'm going to stick to this one. I'm going to finish it via audio while I build my Lego. Now, I did say that I was going to do the Hocus Pocus Cottage because I don't know if I told you this, but I did do the double stamps on Lego. I was like, okay, it's double stamps weekend. I'm just going to order some stuff because I want the stamps. And I did do the PayPal Pay in 3, so I didn't have to pay it all in one. Because, you know, bad financial decisions, but when the double stamps are there, the double stamps are there. But I didn't just get the Lord of the Rings and the Hocus Pocus set. There was another set that I got, but it was like supposed to be back ordered and I wasn't supposed to get it until February. But I got surprised yesterday when this got delivered. The Nightmare Before Christmas set. I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Like, it's actually come before Christmas. It is a Nightmare Before Christmas miracle. And so I feel like this would be much better than doing the Hocus Pocus one in this video because, you know, it is almost Christmas. This one fits the theme better with it being nearly Christmas. So I'm actually going to do this one. I hope it doesn't take too long because I am apparently 42% into the audiobook of Floating Hotel. So I want to build this, show you the process as well because I haven't done one since the Titanic in April. Oh, it's been too long. I'm so excited. Wasn't supposed to come. I know it was a bad financial decision when I have two other sets looking at me in the face. But what can I say? I give myself the best Christmas presents. So I haven't quite finished my Lego set, and I have been working on it for the last 3 hours. It's now dark again. Literally one of the reasons I hate winter is just how dark it gets so quickly. It just made me feel like I was wasting time. But yeah, it took me about 3 hours and I've only done 6 bags. I only did the first part of the Nightmare Before Christmas set. So I'm like, why am I so slow with doing Lego? You know, I guess I'm just enjoying myself and I'm not rushing it or anything. But still, I'm sure people get it done, the whole thing, in 3 hours. And there's me, only done 1 booklet. I've only done 1 booklet out of 3. So I don't really have time today to do any more. So I'll most likely end up finishing it tomorrow. I'll show you in a future vlog. I'll show it off in a future vlog so you can see it. But I love it so far. It's so cute. And I did manage to finish the Floating Hotel audiobook while I was building. And this did get better. You know, it did have a bit of a plot by the end. And there were some things that definitely made it not cozy. Some of it made me kind of sad. There was stuff to do with murder. There was also like this really cool segment where 2 of the staff, Rogan and Daphne, I really do like those 2. They end up coming across an abandoned part of the hotel and they go inside it. There were some little exciting things. The whole murder sequence, like the whole thing that was going on there, that was quite exciting. There is ideas of like spies for the emperor and like for this empire and stuff in the hotel, and it is, you know what, it does get quite exciting. The latter half was definitely better than the first half in my opinion. Does that mean I want to end up keeping this book? I don't know, I don't think so. It's probably going to be a 3-star. Don't really think I want to emboss it. I may end up having to toss it. I mean, I doubt I will ever reread it. I don't really think it was that cozy of a sci-fi, honestly. I did end up liking some of the characters though. Carl did end up winning me over by the end also. There was a good exploration of grief, and especially like grieving someone you don't like. That was kind of explored pretty well. But yeah, it got kind of sad, and I'm ending this vlog because I feel like I've been filming for ages now. I'm ending this vlog with, unfortunately, a toss, but I do feel so cleansed after this week. I do feel like I've done a pretty good job at sorting through my home library so that by the time I do my new home library tour, everything will feel, you know, authentic to me as a reader, and it reflects my tastes right now with books that I really do genuinely love on the shelves. I don't think this has a place on my shelves, unfortunately. As pretty as it is, I just didn't end up loving it. I don't feel like I had the best run in this episode, honestly. There's only 1 book that stands out to me, and that is Dungeon Crawler Call. The rest of them though, I mean, Orochi Volume 4 was a decent ending, didn't love it. Godkiller was enticing enough that I'm going to continue the sequel, so I am keeping those 2. Still of Blood and Ruin, I DNF, so we'll be getting tossed. Dungeon Crawler Call, 5 stars, embossed. It is embossed. Orbital by Samantha Harvey, I didn't really like all that much, so it will be getting tossed. Wolf of Oren-Yaro is a soft DNF for now. Didn't really love it, but I have the trilogy from Broken Binding that came in the subscription box. I do want to give it a better try. I just don't think now is the time. So that is in Limboss. And then Floating Hotel, I am going to be tossing. Not terrible, it definitely got me by the end, but it's just the case of too little too late, bitch. So the success rate of this video of the books that I'm embossing rather than tossing is 57.14%, which is better than the 33% from the first episode. Obviously I unhauled a lot of books in this video also. That isn't part of like my reading challenge. That was just something that I wanted to do. So I'm not including those in the success rate or anything. Otherwise the success rate will be like 1%. This was episode 2. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I read. Let me know if I should have kept something that I'm tossing. Any hot takes that I gave that you totally disagree with, please let me know down below. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for supporting my channel. If you'd like to try my Patreon, then the link is in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.